My name is Shana Burt, and I am the president and concert mistress of Old Bridge Chamber Orchestra. And on behalf of the orchestra, I want to welcome you to this socially distanced presentation of Ferdinand the Bull, arranged by Douglas Meyer, with a little bit of help from Bizet's opera Carmen. Our presentation of Ferdinand was filmed outside on a beautiful landing just overlooking the Potomac River. Our narrators are two African-American women, Aisha and Deja, who normally play cello and viola for the orchestra, but who put away their bows for today's presentation. The string quartet providing the music is comprised of me, an African-American woman named Shana, playing first violin, a Caucasian man named Chris, playing second violin, a Caucasian woman named Anne, playing viola, and a Caucasian woman named Joan, playing cello. We hope the music and the story transport you to sunny Spain, where our hero, a bull named Ferdinand, decides that he prefers to just be himself. Pretty good lesson for all of us. And now, please enjoy Ferdinand the Bull, presented by Old Bridge Chamber Orchestra.
Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All of the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together, but not Ferdinand. Sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers." And because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she just let him sit there and be happy. until he was big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid.
But not Ferdinand. He still liked to just sit quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers.
One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid.
Snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them.
Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down.
Ferdinand didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee.
Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do?
You would sting him, and that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand.
Wow! Did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and shorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy.
The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart.
Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair.
They had a parade into the bull ring.
First came the bandolieros with long, sharp pawns with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make them mad. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all.
Then came the bull. And you know who that was, don't you? It was Ferdinand.
They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandolieros were afraid of him.
And the picadores were afraid of him. And the matador was scared stiff.
Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and kick his horns all around.
But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled.
He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled.
And the bandolieros were mad, and the picadores were madder.
And the matador was so mad, he cried because he couldn't show off with his cape and sword.
So they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, he is still sitting there under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly.
He is very happy.